I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. From a living color to movie scripts to all the six to J-Lo to this headline clips. I stay grounded as the amounts roll in. I'm real, I thought I told ya. I'm real, even on no bruh. That's just me. Nothing phony, don't hate on me. What you get is what you see. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. I'm still Jenny Boricua. By the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from.
Honored guest, coming up, former UnidosUS board member Monica Lozano will host a fireside chat with guests Ana Navarro Cardenas and Soledad O'Brien.
By the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. I'm down to earth like this, rocking this business. I've grown up so much, I'm in control and loving it. Rumors got me laughing, kid. I love my life and my public. Put God first and can't forget to stay real. To me, it's like breathing. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from.
It take hard work to cash checks, so don't be fooled by the rocks that I got in assets.
You get back what you put out, even if you take the good route, can't count the hood out.
After a while, you'll know who to blend with. Just keep it real with the ones you came in with.
Best thing to do is stay low. Lots and J-Lo act like they don't, but they know.
Woman, get busy. Just shake that booty non-stop when the beat drop. Just keep swinging it, get jiggy. Get pumped up, percolate anything you want. Because it's oscillating if I don't take pity. Want to see you get life on the rhythm of my ride. And my lyrics up about electricity. Girl, nobody can do you nothing because you don't know your destiny. Now sexy ladies want part with us. In the car with us, them not war with us. In the club, them want flex with us. To get next with us, them can't vex with us. From the day my bond, I ignite my flame. Girl, I call my name and it is my fame. It's a good girl, turn me on till I earn them on. Let's get it on, let's get it on till I earn them on.
And now, please join me in welcoming, to moderate a fireside chat, the president of the College of Future Foundations, Monica Lozano.
Good afternoon. Buenas tardes, everyone. It is such an exciting opportunity to be with you for this very special luncheon program at UnidosUS's annual conference. It is my pleasure to bring forward our two panelists, two women who have been stalwarts in our community in terms of telling our stories and ensuring that the Latino narrative is accurate and representative. So let me bring out our first guest, a political commentator and a co-host of ABC's The View, Ana Navarro.
Thank you.
Great to see you. So joining Ana is somebody else who has been a award-winning journalist for many, many years. As I said, telling our stories, a documentarian, a best-selling book author, Soledad O'Brien. Oh my gosh, what a great panel. So I'm very excited, and we have an opportunity to talk before the president comes out and addresses the Unidos conference goers. And I feel like I need to start with something that we've all been thinking about, sometimes agonizing over, asking ourselves how we got here. And when you think about the last few weeks, everything from a presidential debate and the ensuing chaos that has now flooded the Democratic Party, an assassination attempt on a presidential candidate, felony convictions, it's just one thing after another. And honestly, I don't think I have seen a political climate that has been this divisive, this corrosive, and where it feels like even though there's calls for unity from the president, from the presidential candidates, it's hard to see how we come back together as a nation. So I'd start with you, Ana, ask you, what are your thoughts about what contributed to where we are in terms of this divisiveness? And then, Soledad, your thoughts as well. And then, obviously, how do we move forward as a country, and where do we find that unity?
Such an easy question to answer, isn't it? I love how you start with the easy questions. You know, as a result of what we've seen, first of all, it used to be that we used to talk about October surprises, and now these surprises are coming like in June. It's like the hurricanes out there that they're getting bad earlier in the year. That's kind of how these surprises are coming. So when people tell you that an election is all sewed up, don't believe them. Because if anything, the last 3 weeks have shown us that things can happen that can change dramatically what the outcome can be, what the present can be. Okay, let's talk about the divisiveness. Let's talk about what happened. I've heard a lot of folks say there's no room for this in America. I've heard President Biden say it. I've heard other folks on TV say it. And I don't know where they have been in America for the last 10 years. Because this is not something that has happened in a vacuum, right? I will give you just examples from the last 7 years. The Steve Scalise shooting at the congressional baseball game. Paul Pelosi having his skull bashed in with a hammer. January 6th, Mike Pence and the gallows. So I think that when we say there's no space for this in America, we really are taking like some sort of happy pill. And so because this is happening in America, what do we do about it? And, you know, there's been reflection, there's been introspection. Here's the issue I see. It only works if we all do it. It only works if we all commit to and follow through, heeding President Biden's words and being less inflammatory with our rhetoric. If only one side does it, then you can't ask the other side to do it. If one side is laughing at Paul Pelosi's skull being bashed in, You can't ask the other side to just sit by. And what I would say as we move forward is that we can be consciously and deliberately more introspective and more careful with our words, but that doesn't mean we give up our First Amendment right. That doesn't mean we don't call out lies when we see it. That doesn't mean we don't call out racism when we see it. That doesn't mean we don't call out bigotry when we see it. I think that as Americans, we don't let some whack job 20-year-old with very easy access to an AR-style gun, which we should remedy, take away our First Amendment rights.
Senator.
It's not a new problem, really. We've been divided for decades now, actually predates Biden, Trump. And I think that there's a number of reasons for that. I think the quality of information, I think misinformation and disinformation are playing a massive role. For example, I was shooting a story in Lewisburg, Maine, and I'd go into this bar, talk to the people in the bar, and they would say to me, you know, Soledad, when immigrants come here, they give them $10,000 cash and a new car. I was like, that sounds amazing. Right? And I'd say to them, well, but where are those new cars here in this little tiny city, right? And they'd say, oh, no, it's true. I'm like, it's not. That's just completely false. And everyone believed it. They absolutely believed it. They get $10,000 cash. By the way, you look at some of the circumstances that some of the immigrants were living in. They weren't living high on the hog. They were not driving brand new cars. So a lot of what they were saying as this mythology, rumor, was so false, and yet that didn't seem to convince them that it made no sense. And so I think this misinformation, disinformation, and even the quality of just information we're getting with so many news organizations, print especially, in small markets, just going away. You have very uninformed discussion and debate some of the time. And I think a lot of people take advantage of that. I think the other problem is, you know, income inequality has grown so massively. And because of that, we exist in silos, right? You can go through your entire month, year, lots of people around you speaking the same way, thinking the same way, talking the same way, kids in the same schools. You're not sort of forced to see how other people are and live. And I think that's hugely problematic. And I don't know that there is a solution to all of it, but truly figuring out how we get better information, how we really stomp out misinformation, I think would be a very good start. I think it is a massive mistake to not call people out in a debate, to not say that is factually untrue. I think that is not okay. That's just wrong. And then the last thing I would say is, you know, there's so much lack of civility in our political discourse today. You know, it used to be that that was a rarity, right? That there was an outlier who always said something over the top and inappropriate. Well, now, doing that actually gets you to lead the news, and you'll get a lot of airtime. And so there's a reward to being over the top, unpleasant, uncivil, and we sort of have created a reward system for that. And I think stopping that would be a big help as well.
Well, you brought up two things that I want us to talk about. Immediately following the assassination attempt, it was said that some spectators turned around, moved deliberately towards the press corps, and said, it is your fault. And so this notion that media is actually contributing to this lack of civil discourse, not the misinformation, which I do want to talk about later, but given that both of you in particular, Ana, with a long career both in politics and now in media, how does media be more responsible in terms of appropriately informing, telling the truth, pushing back on some of these notions when you hear lies that are factually incorrect? But what is the appropriate role for media in terms of tempering down the discourse and the divisiveness?
Well, I think it's irresponsible to turn around and blame the media when we don't even know what the motive of the shooter was, right? So we are talking about something that we don't know what inspired him, what motivated him, what moved him to do that. Do I think the media plays a role in shaping political narratives and leading the discourse? Yes. But I also think that if we're going to talk about responsibility, we've got to talk about our individual responsibilities as consumers of media and consumers of news. We have free will to turn the channel, to choose what we read, to choose what we listen to. And so the problem is I hear folks saying the media is too divided, but then they tune in when the media is divided. And so, you know, it's also been, look, it's been a difficult, I'm going to be honest with you, it's been a difficult time in the last 6 years to be, it got less difficult 3.5 years ago, but it was a very difficult time to be in the media because, first of all, the media was getting attacked. The media itself was under attack. There were people who wanted to censor us. There were people who wanted to quiet us. Second of all, we had to be in the job of fact-checking people who we were sitting with. Because I agree with Soledad. Being civil does not mean playing dead. I mean, I'm just absolutely not willing to not push back when somebody is lying to my face because I'm trying to be civil. And especially not in the middle of an election. There's too much writing on this. So, you know, I heed Joe Biden's words of being careful with what we say, of being more deliberative. But, folks, we got 3.5 months before an election. We have the duty to debate vigorously because we have 4 years coming up writing on the balance.
What he said yesterday at the NAACP, and maybe we'll hear the same message today, was denouncing political violence but telling the truth. And so you can do both and advance a certain cause. What do you think, Soledad, around media?
Often after some kind of very over-the-top dramatic event, and I'm thinking of, for example, the Newtown school shooting, which I covered, right? After a couple of days, people get angry at the media, and it's not rational, but they just do. And so this is not the first time that people who are upset and overwhelmed and emotional turn around and sort of blame whoever they feel could be responsible. So that doesn't really surprise me. Where I do think the media is responsible is that we, because I'm in the media, we tend to elevate and give credence to people who I think 20 years ago we would not have put on television, and we certainly wouldn't have invited them in. And numerous networks have had to disinvite people from joining their political teams when there was a bit of an outcry, right? It's not unusual. And I think because the media is trying to figure out how do we get more viewers? How do we get more eyeballs? How are we somehow part of this, conversation that's unfolding and interesting? And often that means platforming conversations that I think they do in the wrong way. I remember watching, I think back in 2016, and there are all these people who were white supremacists, and they were just given free airtime, like 5 minutes, to just talk about, that would not have happened when I started in TV news in 1987. There'd be discussions and debates around how do you manage someone, how do you manage an issue that deserves to be on television, but we actually also have to make sure we're serving our viewers, right? We have to make sure that the viewers are not being bamboozled, and we're helping that happen. So I do not think the media is to blame, but I think the media could do a better job of asking hard questions and analyzing where they're failing and trying to actually fix some of those failures.
Thank you. I'm gonna pivot the topic now, given that it's nuestro momento and we are about to hear from a presidential candidate. And I know, Soledad, you've been working on a documentary, I believe, on the Latino vote. If both of you can tell us, what do you observe? How are candidates and parties talking to Latinos? Here we are, 2024, and I can't tell you how disconcerting it is to still hear, well, they're not targeting us, they're not sending the right message with the right messenger, and they come in at the very end, and and so have we advanced? Do we believe that this is a unique opportunity to really mobilize a Latino vote? and ensure that those 36 million people who are eligible to vote actually turn out and vote. What are you hearing, thinking, seeing about Latino electorate and political participation?
So as to your question of have we advanced, I think yes, absolutely we have. Right now, as we sit here, we have 3 Latino cabinet officers. We have a Supreme Court justice who's a Latina, a wise Latina. So have we advanced? Yes. Have we advanced enough? No. Do we need to advance more? Yes. And you know, I like this tagline, nuestro momento, our moment. But it's only our moment if we grab it and we shake the cherries off the tree and we make it our moment. If not, it's our moment that passes by. And being our moment means that we have to shake off whatever malaise, and we have to understand that what we have is the ballot box. And that is the way that we grab the moment, we grab the spotlight, coming here, demanding that the people who are running come and be heard and earn our votes, not take it for granted. That's part of grabbing the moment. I'm really proud of you all for being here, of Unidos. Every time I come to an Unidos event, I leave inspired because you all are inspirational and you all are grabbing the moment.
Yeah, Anna's exactly right. It almost should be there like a tagline, you know, this is the moment if you vote. Because, you know, being an eligible voter is great, but not everything, right? I mean, that the actual, you have to look at who's actually voting, and the issue is that gap, right, between the people who could go vote and for some reason are not actually voting. And so I think, you know, that is going to be the real challenge in how you close that gap. Could it be better? Absolutely. There was a time on news sets where the only time you'd have Latinos on the set be like, and now we're going to talk about immigration. Let's bring out Jose and Ana Maria and, you know, Joaquin, and you'd ask them questions for 4 minutes and you'd say, thank you so much, and they'd go off the set. That has changed, right? The conversations about what Latinos care about, the economy, issues that are not just Latino issues, but issues that are American issues. They're now being inserted into those conversations day to day. That's improvement. As Ana says, it's just not enough.
Well, let me just pick up on that. So Unidos does its national poll, and it identifies exactly what you just said, that the #1 issues, actually 1 through 5, are economic issues. It's around inflation and jobs and affordable housing and you know, the ability to succeed economically. And yet the dominant narrative is around immigration still. And so how do we begin to shift that, yes, we care about immigration reform, we want to see sensible policies, but it's not the only driving issue that will motivate our community. And that I do think, and I'm curious what you think about being able to convert what is the dominant narrative, that what we care about is immigration, as the #1 issue. And maybe you can talk about this also, how it plays into the way others perceive us. And some of us were talking, how is it that in Iowa, the #1 issue in their caucus was illegal immigration in a state like Iowa? So it's now obviously beginning to like permeate the discourse in a way that leads to the kind of misinformation and the storytelling that you were talking about.
The media could fix that, right? I mean, I think if you were to stop people on the street, let's say in Iowa, and say, how many Latinos in your community are undocumented, they would come up with a number that is so much higher than the actual number, right? Because the narrative is that, well, Latinos are taking over, they're coming for your jobs, they don't have documentation. It's just factually inaccurate. And I think it's the people in this room who can demand, actually, we need to have Latinos on these panels about the economy, about housing. And you can complain and you can get on social media and you can say, you know what, that was a great segment. A big miss was X. We need to be in those conversations. I think that's really, really important. I think demanding that is a very good step, especially for the people who are in this audience.
Well, you know, I used to be one of those Latinos that Soledad made reference to that would be brought in to talk about immigration. Now I talk about all sorts of things, like Kim Kardashian and incredibly enlightening things. But I think that a lot of times why people have a misconception, frankly, is because there's people that are not Latinos talking about what Latinos feel, which is why I'm also doing a documentary on the Latino vote, which is going to be out on CNN in the fall, in October. You all better watch, because if you want more Latino content,
right. Support it.
Support Latino content. And yesterday, I was at the border. I was in the Rio Grande Valley, Harlingen, Texas. God help me. They made me drive a big truck, and you know, that's like ground zero for immigration. And they're living their lives, being happy, and talking about the cost of groceries and the cost of housing and the economy. None of them were talking about immigration. They were talking about those economic issues. And somehow in Maine and Iowa, people are talking, which is like really far from the border, people were talking about that. So I think it's important that as Latinos, we drive and make our own narrative. We use our voices to tell people why we are part of this community, of this writ large community, and what we care about. It is important that we don't let people put us into niches. You know, don't just put me into the Latino niche. And one of the things that I'm very happy at seeing this year, for example, is I was part of the McCain campaign. I was his Hispanic national chair in 2008. I came to Unidos with McCain in 2008. That was back when Republicans came to Unidos and tried to seek out their vote. And señores, hay que decir la verdad. And back then, you know, Latinos were on campaigns just as Hispanic chairs, coalition alliances, things like that. The campaign manager of Joe Biden's campaign is Julie Rodriguez Chavez. La nieta de Cesar Chavez. So when we talk about advances, yeah, man, her grandfather was leading boycotts for farmers on grapes, and now she's eating grapes at the campaign management office.
I love that, and we're at time where we want to make sure that we don't delay, but so that we talked about, and I really appreciate what you just said, Ana, because I like to end on a positive note, asking about what makes you hopeful about...
A positive note? What is that, Monica?
It's what you just mentioned, right? It's nuestro momento if we seize it. And all of you are here doing precisely that and dedicating yourselves every day to the work of the affiliates and being on the ground. But so that your last words about what can we be hopeful for, and how do we motivate to get engaged, stay engaged, and demand change?
My biggest sign of hope is just how young and engaged people are. Anybody who attended the National Association of Hispanic Journalists convention just the other day was coming back saying, they're so young and they have so much energy to fight some of the same fights that we had in terms of coverage, in terms of accuracy, in terms of how you talk about a community. Like, they're ready to go. I'm like, I'm ready to retire. I could be done, because there are so many really, really smart young Latinos who are like, no, journalism is going to be great, and I am ready to go. And that just gives me a ton of confidence in what's coming down.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica Lozano, Soledad O'Brien, and Ana Navarro Cárdenas for that inspiring discussion. And now, please give a warm UnidosUS welcome. Please give a warm welcome to Emmy Award-winning actor, poet, and comedian, Joe Hernandez-Kolski.
What an honor it is to follow that panel. Can we give them another big round of applause, please? So good. So good. I am so happy right now that my parents named me Joe. What's crazy is they were deciding between Joe or Barack. Crazy, right? I am a little nervous, though. Can I be honest with you, Unidos? I'm hoping to get a chance to chat with him backstage, you know, Joe to Joe. And I'm not sure if Secret Service is going to be cool with that. Okay, so Joe and I are homies. And I just feel like things have been a little difficult lately. President Biden reached out to me recently asking if he could borrow some money. So I gave him 20 bucks. I didn't think much about it. But since then, he's been emailing me and texting me like a lot. And I'm like, Joe, it kind of feels a little thirsty, man. Like, come on. Don't try so hard. So I ghosted him. Because finding a good president, it can sort of be like dating, you know? Like, I'm not looking for anything serious. I just want something casual, you know, for like the next 4 years. He can represent me at NATO Alliance meetings, veterans events, my nephew's play recital, you know, all the important things. And I'm hoping to tell him today, you know I'm donating to other people, right? This isn't exclusive. Like, I'm not one of those people who's looking for their president to be the one, you know, my soulmate, my everything. I know that Joe is not a perfect person. But he and I do connect on the important things, like protecting the working class, protecting women's rights. Let me say it again, protecting the working class, protecting women's rights, choosing democracy over fascism. You know, the important building blocks. The building blocks of any good relationship. And I love how no matter how much flack he gets, throughout his entire career, this man keeps showing up. He has overcome some hardships in his life, and he has taken these hardships and turned them into the building blocks of a very well-intentioned life. I think that President Biden continues to make improvements, and he leads with empathy and kindness. I think I might love this man a little more than I thought. Maybe it's not that he's trying too hard. Maybe I'm not trying hard enough. I think I'm the one with the commitment issues. So what do y'all think? Do you think I should just jump in with both feet? Okay, here we go. I, Joe Hernandez-Kolski, am in a serious, committed relationship with our president. And democracy. Kind of like a throuple. So now, join us at 3 o'clock for our plenary Premio Home, elevating community-based housing solutions for home ownership in the chairman's ballroom. Here's the important information. The first 300 people are eligible to win one of 10 gift bags of Nopalera products featured at the Hecho in Las Vegas Mercado. You must be present to win. I want to thank you so much. Coming up very shortly, my buddy Joe, the President of the United States.
quiero la chola, yeah, yeah, yeah. Cuando te pones sunblock, baby, déjame entrar. Dale, quítame el lock. Yo me la pasaría contigo viendo TikTok. Déjame sorprenderte. Déjame darte el sunblock pa' que no te quemes. Aquí hay muchas nenas lindas, pero tú la tienes. Jugar conmigo se te entretiene. No seas mala, me tienes. Yo estoy puesta pa' ti.
¿Dónde están? Yo ni sé dónde están, si tan vivo, tan falta de pan. Oiga, pela botán, maduro, coño, el cemento titán. Vete y llama al dicán, ya se quitan todo lo que se miran. No se le dio el tumbe que ellos planean. Forzaron con la jerarquía y se desbaratan. Esto gusta porque gusta, bajé con el flujo, cocodrilo, culebra, medusa. Y entre como yakuza, con el sable en la mano, cortate la blusa. Tenemos más carne que los carniceros, la mami chula está dentro del caldero. Llegan los patrones parceros, parezco una estrella porno, yo siempre estoy en cuero.
¿Dónde están los que de mí hablan mal? ¿Dónde están debajo del aguandán? ¿Dónde están los que de mí hablan mal? ¿Dónde están que no los veo ya?
Todo el mundo buscando puerto, pero yo soy que los hallo. Haciendo una orgía con 10 cueros en Ohio. Demasiado flow, yo no tengo tocayo. Tú y los tuyos tienen que mamarme el tallo. Yo doy más para que LeBron. Llevo por el Kennedy, pero subo para el Bronx. El que tiene el brillo, combinando el reloj con el anillo. No me dejes torra que conmigo tú no puedes. Yo puedo comprar lo tuyo y tú lo mío no puedes. El que sabe de dos robas, recogemos los cuartos con palita y escoba. Yo no fumo mari en la calle, me dicen Dari. Pa' pagar por unos premios, mejor me compré un Polari.
¿Dónde están los que de mí hablan mal? ¿Dónde están debajo del aguandán? ¿Dónde están los que
yo chúpalo, jálalo, jálalo, pégate, gózalo y bailalo, bailalo, chúpalo, jálalo, jálalo, pégate, gózalo y bailalo, bailalo, chúpalo, 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 jálalo, jálalo.
Esa mala quiere que yo se la eche y me aproveche, pero ayer le eché 10 polvo y ella no me tira leche. A mí me da igual que el jevito tuyo sospeche, porque yo te traje paquete y fue para que tú te apeche. Chúpamelo suave que yo le eché a sacar. Tú eres bella y te ves coqueta aunque sea flaca. Tú tienes tu motor y siempre anda con la pata, pero yo soy tu melo si te traje paquete y pasta.
Chúpalo, jálalo, jálalo, pégate, gózalo y bailalo, bailalo, chúpalo, jálalo, jálalo, pégate, gózalo y bailalo, bailalo, chúpalo, 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 tiene que chuparlo, tiene que jalarlo. Detallado lo traje del colmado. No es San Valentín y te trajo un regalo. Ponte en colarle para darte un saco de palo. Déjame ponerle el pincho a tu calizo. Yo rompo esa puerta sin pedir permiso. Como el perico en los cueros los friso. Y a mí me la pide y le digo te aviso. Chúpalo, jálalo, jálalo, pégate, gózalo y bailalo, bailalo. Chúpalo, jálalo, jálalo, pégate, gózalo y bailalo, bailalo. Chúpalo, 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 chúpalo,
A mí me dijeron que tú eres una mala, que te cotiza y no come pico y pala. Te gusta el filete, tú te la den cara, pero yo te traje espagueti con alas.
Chúpalo, 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 jálalo, jálalo, pégate, gózalo y bailalo, bailalo, chúpalo, jálalo, jálalo, pégate, gózalo y bailalo, bailalo, chúpalo, 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 chúpalo,
Si tu marido no te quiere, baby, mejor tú dale banda. Porque esta noche sí se bebe, baby, nos vamos hasta que el sol salga. Y yo sé que esta noche tú te atreves, porque si la botella aquí no falta, baby, porque esta noche sí se bebe.
Yo estoy para darte, ya basta del encerro, viste que voy a sacarte. Dile que ya conseguí tu cuido para el nene mansión y va a poner la vida, pegarte las extensiones y te vas conmigo, apágate el cel. Esta noche vas a volver a nacer, para la disco sin dejarnos ver, arrepentirse de sus acciones mientras yo disfruto de todas tus operaciones. Así que mamá, hoy yo quiero matarte, empezar a marcar territorio en toda tu parte porque hoy yo quiero matarte. A ver que la receta de tu va a indiciarte, solo si te atreves que nadie se enterre. Tú y yo vamos a darle dura hasta que todo se pele, sigamos en secreto para que no te cele porque
si se bebe, baby, nos vamos hasta que el sol salga. Y yo sé que en esta noche tú te atreves, porque si la botella aquí no falta, baby, porque esta noche si se bebe, baby, nos vamos hasta que el sol salga. Y yo sé que en esta noche
sola yo te robo, te llevo a un lugar escondido, donde podremos estar solos. Yo respondo, si te dejas sola yo te robo, te llevo a un lugar escondido, donde podremos estar solos, solos. La, la, no llores muñeca, vamos para la discoteca. A mí no me lágrimas, amores en la calle siempre hay tu mejor, lo sé. Me imaginé a mí, me estoy pensando cuando la puede tener a usted. Él es un veo, yo solo veo como que te sientes feo. Deja que el sol te despierte en mi cama, que la luna sepa que estás aquí. Sin hablar de amor ni de esas cosas raras, tú eres libre así que vuela por mí. Deja que el sol te despierte en mi cama, que la luna sepa que estás aquí. Sin hablar de amor ni de esas cosas raras, tú eres libre así que vuela por mí. No llores muñeca, y vamos a la discoteca. No miro más lágrimas, que amores en la calle siempre hay nomás. Bailando, así te quiero ver, mi vida, olvídate de él. No miro más lágrimas, que amores en la calle siempre hay nomás. Bailando, así te quiero ver, mi vida, olvídate de él. No miro más lágrimas, que amores en la calle siempre hay nomás. Si te dejas sola yo te robo, te llevo a un lugar escondido, no podremos estar solos. Yo respondo, si te dejas sola yo te robo, Te llevo a un lugar escondido, donde podremos estar solos. No llores, mujer. Dime si es verdad, me dijeron que te estás casando. Tú no sabes cómo estoy sufriendo, esto te lo tengo que decir. Cuéntame, tu despedida para mí fue dura. ¿Será que te llevo a la luna? Y yo no supe hacerlo así. Te estaba buscando por la calle gritando, eso me está matando. Oh no, te estaba buscando por la calle gritando, como un loco tomando. Es que yo sin ti y tú sin mí, dime que puedes ser feliz. Esto no me gusta, esto no me gusta. Es que yo sin ti y tú sin mí, dime que puedes ser feliz. Esto no me gusta, eso no me gusta. Sin ti no aguanto más, por eso vengo a decirte lo que siento. Estoy sufriendo en esta soledad. Y aunque tu padre no aprobó esta relación, yo sigo insistiendo a pedir perdón. Lo único que importa es en tu corazón. Te estaba buscando por la calle gritando, eso me está matando. Oh no, te estaba buscando por la calle gritando, como un loco tomando. Es que yo sin ti y tú sin mí, dime que puedes ser feliz. Esto no me gusta, esto no me gusta. Es que yo sin ti y tú sin mí, dime que puedes ser feliz. Esto no me gusta, eso no me gusta. Yo te abro a ti eterno amor, que habrá otro te da calor, cuando en la noche tienes frío. Oh, oh. Yo sé que te parece mejor, pero yo estoy en tu corazón, y por eso pido perdón. Y tú sin mí, dime quién puede ser feliz. Esto no me gusta. Oh, no, es que yo sin ti y tú sin mí, dime quién puede ser feliz. Esto no me gusta. Oh, yeah. Quiero que me des, saca white black y te pido perdón. Hey girl, I can see your body moving, and it's driving me crazy. And I didn't have the slightest idea until I saw you dancing. And when you walk up on the dance floor, nobody can ignore the way you move your body, girl. And everything's so unexpected, the way you right and left it. So you can keep on taking it. Never really knew that you could dance like this. She make a man wanna speak Spanish. Como se llama? Shakira, Shakira.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that, you make a woman go mad. So be wise and keep on reading the signs of my body. I'm on tonight, you know my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel your joy. Come on, let's go real slow. Don't you see, baby, I see it's perfect. I know I'm on tonight, my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel it's right. All the attraction, the tension. Don't you see, baby, this is perfection.
Go, let's go.
Come on, let's go real slow. Don't you see, baby, I see it's perfect.
Let's go.
Come on, let's go real slow. Don't you see, baby, I see it's perfect. Oh boy, I can see your body moving, half animal, half man. I don't really know what I'm doing, just seem to have a plan. I will self-restrain, have done
Barranquilla se baila así.
Barranquilla se baila así. Yeah, she's so sexy, I am at fantasy. A refugee like me back with the Fugees from a third world country. I go back like when Pac carried crates for Humpty Hump. We lead a whole club dizzy. Why the CIA wanna watch the Colombians and Haitians? I ain't guilty, it's a musical transaction. Boop, boop, zoom, boop, no more do we snatch rope. Refugees run the seas cause we on our own boat.
I'm on tonight, my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel you, boy. And the metal, real slow. Baby, like this is perfecto. Oh, you know I'm on tonight, my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel it's right. The attraction, the tension. Baby, like this is perfection.
Let's go.
Let's go. Real slow. See that this is perfecto.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Is it too late now to say sorry? Cause I'm missing more than just your body. Oh, is it too late now to say sorry? Yeah, I know that I let you down. Is it too late to say sorry now?
Quisiera regresar el tiempo y cambiar errores. Sé que todo fue mi culpa y te causé dolores. Espero que de volver tú tengas intenciones, porque hoy estoy aquí extrañándote. Ok, tú por mí morías más. No solo física, había química. Yo te llamaba y no querías contestar. Sé que frente a ti no te supe valorar. Entiende mi estilo de vida. Por favor comprende que es que no pasó de repente. Si está en mi mano me lo dejo la suerte. Solo espero que me perdones. Nena, tengo tantas ganas de amarte. Solo quiero que me perdones. Si tú y yo no podemos estar, olvida todo, no voy a fallar.
Is it too late now to say sorry? Cause I'm missing more than just your body. Oh, is it too late now to say sorry? Yeah, I know that I let you down. Is it too late to say sorry now?
We appreciate your patience. Please stand by. We will be with you shortly. Thank you.
Estos son recuerdos del carnaval barranquillero en mi kiosquito. Oh yeah.
Después de lo que ha pasado piensas en mí, puede ser porque no encontraste otra amor así. Deberías quedarte, no tratar de olvidarme, no luchar en contra de mí. Hola, sé que estas no son horas, espero que estés sola. Quisiera saber, ay dime baby, si aún me sigues pensando, si estabas extrañando volverme a ver. Mis recuerdos logran atraparte, era tiempo de que te olvidara, te olvidara. A veces pienso que esto no se acaba, parece que el tiempo no pasara, no pasara. Al ver mis ojos recordaste que sentías, tu piel no olvida lo que sientes todavía, y me aceptaste que era mí quien prefería, y que extrañaste mi calor la noche fría. Que pensaste con otros hombres, lo sé,
y busqué otros amores también. Pero no te olvido, aunque el tiempo pasa, esto sigue vivo. Hola, sé que estas no son horas, espero que estés sola. Quisiera saber, ay dime baby, si aún me sigues pensando, si estabas extrañando volverme a ver. De tantas noches que te hice el amor, no encuentras algo mejor que yo. Te sientes sola, extrañas mi calor, sé que sientes lo mismo que yo. Dime si hoy si después de lo que ha pasado piensas en mí, debe ser porque no encontraste otro amor así. Deberías quedarte, no tratar de olvidarme, no luchar en contra de mí. Hola, sé que estas no son horas, espero que estés sola. Quisiera saber, ay dime baby, si aún me sigues pensando, si estabas extrañando volverme a ver.
Si tú te alejas de mí, lloraré. Si tú te olvidas de mí, lloraré. Porque sin ti yo no quiero la vida. Y mi piel ya no soporta el color de otra piel. Te acostumbraste a tus caricias de ayer. Porque sin tu amor soy un barco a la deriva. Porque sin ti la vida es un compromiso. Sin tu amor se rompe el hechizo. Y es que sin ti yo no puedo vivir. Porque sin ti la vida solo es un compromiso. Sin tu amor se rompe el hechizo. Y es que sin ti yo no puedo vivir. Escúchame, si yo respiro es tan solo por ti. Y si mis labios se ven sonreír, quiero que sepas gracias a ti. Y es que tu amor no ha sido para mí una aventura. Me arañas el alma con ternura. Me hechiza tu amor sin control. Y es que tu amor no ha sido para mí una aventura. Me arañas el alma con ternura. Me hechiza tu amor sin control. Escucha bien mi vida, si tú no estás conmigo, yo no quiero la vida. Si yo no estoy contigo, escucha bien mi vida, escucha lo que digo. Yo no quiero la vida si tú no estás conmigo. Si tú no estás conmigo, si yo no estoy contigo, escucha bien mi vida, escucha lo que digo. Yo no quiero la vida si tú no estás conmigo.
Si tú no estás conmigo, si tú no estás conmigo,
Si te alejas de mí lloraré, ay, 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 lloraré.
si tú no estás conmigo, si tú no estás conmigo,
Porque sin ti yo no quiero la
si tú no
vida.
estás conmigo, si tú no estás conmigo,
Morena linda, quiéreme, morena la vida.
Si tú no estás conmigo, si tú no estás conmigo.
Y es que me quita tu amor sin control del corazón.
Honored guest, please welcome UnidosUS President and CEO, Janet Murguía.
Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for your patience and understanding. Regrettably, I was just on the phone with President Biden, and he shared his deep disappointment at not being able to join us this afternoon. The President has been at many events, as we all know, and he just tested positive for COVID. So, of course, we understand that he needs to take the precautions that have been recommended, and he did not obviously want to put anybody at risk. He said to tell my folks that we're not going to get rid of him that quickly. We're going to have a chance to hear from him in the future directly. He's just really sorry he couldn't be with us, and obviously we share that disappointment, but we've seen how COVID has still impacted many in our community still, and we understand that he needs to take the steps he needs to take to not just protect himself, but to protect all of us. So we appreciate very much his wanting to have been here. I had a great introduction for him, reminding us of all the actions that he's taken on behalf of our community and the way that they have helped advance our interests and status. And, well, we're just disappointed we won't hear from him directly today, but what we as a Latino community know how to move on, and we're going to recapture our program, and we've got an incredible plenary planned around housing and home ownership. I hope you'll take advantage of being able to go to that plenary. And then, of course, we've got a wonderful gala this evening planned with some incredible honorees that we'll be presenting awards to. And so, again, it's been a wonderful conference. Really appreciate everyone's patience and understanding. And I am deeply honored that the President did call me himself. I know it was really important for him to relay his disappointment, but we'll move on and we'll have a great rest of the conference, and we're going to make sure we continue to mobilize and engage our community in the weeks and months ahead to understand how important these elections are. Adelante. Muchísimas gracias.
This concludes our Nuestro Momento Luncheon. Join us this evening at our Conference Awards Gala to celebrate our inspiring 2024 honorees, followed by the Gala After Party. But before that, be sure to get a good seat at today's plenary, Premio Home, elevating community-based housing solutions for home ownership, in the Chairman's Ballroom at 3:30. See you there.